It's awful.
Something you guys and I argue a lot are defensemen in the NHL. So this specific question, I want you to channel the playoffs. If you're going into a playoff series, in order, top 5 defensemen you want on your team for a playoff run.
Okay, playoff run. Cale Makar 1. I'd say Victor Hedman 2.
We're aligned right now. I'm going to tell you my list after.
How old is Hedman?
30.
Got to be early 30s, I would think.
Yeah.
I think he's 32.
Yeah.
He was drafted in like 09 or 10 maybe?
Yeah, I think he's 32.
Oh, no. He was,
Yep.
was he drafted in 09? No, I don't know. Whatever. We're going to sound dumb, so let's just not say the date.
I think I go Cale, Hedman, and then this is maybe a surprise to some, but I'm going off the back of my boy Chelios here. I think I go Devon Taves 3.
Interesting.
That dude was locked down.
Yeah.
And Cale does not do what Cale does without Devon Taves right next to him. So I put him maybe at 3. You can chime in here at any point, by the way, because I'm thinking off the top of my head.
Yep.
I think Petro's on my list.
So that's what I was going to ask. If you're skewing towards,
well, this is your number
Petro's on
1D.
the list.
This is your number 1D. Just think about that. Like,
wait,
Petro is a number
what do you
1D for
mean?
sure. But I'm saying, like, if you want to pick more, when I first was thinking about it, I was like, maybe McDonough, but I was like, McDonough's not a number 1D anymore. I don't think.
Yes, but he, dude, a few years ago is 100% on this list, especially for playoffs.
Yeah,
absolute
but not right
machine. Now. Yep, not right now, not anymore. Not
I
in
love
top 5.
the playoffs thing because like there's guys like off the top of my head, Dahlin Heiskanen. Like I love those dudes, but do they have enough playoff time for me to actively make that pick?
Exactly.
That's why I'm trying to.
And even like Yossi, I'm like, oh, incredible, but I'm like. And maybe he's in it, but I'm like, oh, playoffs. Am I skewing towards I want 80 points, or am I skewing towards you're going to eat 25 minutes and not give up any goals?
Yeah,
that's why he's the GOAT.
Wait, so let me say something that I'm really surprised about because this guy is 3rd on my list, who I thought you'd name right off the bat, and that's Charlie.
He's
Charlie McAvoy.
Yeah, he's coming from me. Charlie is my next one.
So you have.
But again, I'm being fair. I can't help but look at the Bruins' failures of the last few years and not consider that. But Charlie's amazing. Charlie's on my list as well.
Okay, and is Fox on yours, Johnny?
So that's the tough factor.
That's the question, right?
That's a tough factor.
Yeah.
I wonder why I was thinking. I wonder if that's going to come into play on your list because I think that there are claims that Foxy has struggled in the playoffs, and I'm curious your take on it.
I had Foxy at 5 because there's no way he's not on my list. But I know we've argued the Fox versus McAvoy, argument and whatnot. Do I want Fox over McAvoy for 82 games in the regular season? 100%. But I think going into a playoff series or just an overall battle and sustainability and physicality and all that stuff that Charlie brings, I might take McAvoy over him. I think Charlie does add that physical presence where Adam does not. But then again, like you can't knock what Adam has done. And the guy has over a point a game as a defenseman in his playoff career. He's had 31 points in 30 playoff games. Like you need production in the playoffs. So it's that like give and take kind of argument where, do you like when the time comes, you need someone that can score, like help the team score goals when you need it. But then also you need the guy that's going to, mark up Ovechkin or stay on Matthew Tkachuk and Jack Eichel when the time needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I totally agree. And one thing
Are you Googling defenseman over there, CP?
No, I'm trying to find your list. I was like, he must have tweeted this. One thing I think is interesting as the game has changed to allow, there's less clutch and grab, less, open ice smashes. So it's allowed some smaller guys to succeed in the league that we might not have even seen before. One thing for me, and maybe this is my old guy shouting at clouds take, but in the playoffs, I get weary of the smaller defensemen that are sick and like produce a ton, like the Torrey Krugs of the world back when his Bees heyday, even like Quinn, I'm like, Quinn is so nasty, but then I just worry that they get hurt in a playoff series. I'm like, are you going to get broken in half and not be able to play? So when you ask this question,
imagine this guy thinking Quinn Hughes has played in the playoffs.
He'll never win a cup, eh?
I actually, before you go, I do want to say one name too that I think everyone kind of overestimates or underestimate. What's the word when you like sleep on someone? I guess is it overestimates? Underestimates.
No,
underestimates.
Miro Heiskanen.
That's okay. I mentioned him with Dahlin. Like Heiskanen is so good, and yeah, Dallas has had, a couple tough runs here in the playoffs last
But
2
they're a
years, but
contender, they're a contender.
absolutely they are, dude. Absolutely they are. And he is only getting better. I love him. I love that call.
Like, cause there's just a couple guys, he's going to do a good one. Sergachev, right? Like, and who's on Carolina?
Slavin?
Who's playing D on Carolina? Slavin,
Slavin.
dude.
Jacob Slavin is arguably the best defensive D-man.
Like
in
those
the NHL.
guys, like the Pietrangelo, Slavin, those are interesting to me to put on this list.
Yep.
Maybe over a Foxy, where I'm like, can I just count on him to lock down the other team's top line all series?
Ranger fans will hate you, but you can say it.
Valuable. Yeah, no, I will not. I will not. But maybe. But you know what I mean? Like that's an interesting take for a playoff series versus regular season.